Hey guys, welcome back. It's Grim Reaper for another video for Raidshadowlegends. Today we are going to go over a live arena. We're going to go over a couple of battles and stuff like that. We have done some battles today in live arena. We're just doing 10 fights, so the fights are fairly quick, not too bad. And I just want to show you my log as well from yesterday. And then today I'm not going to go so much with talking and stuff like that. I want to reduce down the time on these fights that we're taking on the live arena videos, and you can I just want to show off like the 5-6 champions now I've consistently started using and stuff like that. So and just to kind of show you what I'm kind of doing and stuff like that. So maybe I'll break down the video like one or two little bit, but we won't do too much, and then I'll show you the builds. So let me show you yesterday's log as well. So I did do some live arena yesterday, and we do have the 10 fights I did yesterday. So as you can see, we've got these 10, and if you do see yourself, then good job. Some of the fights were close, but nothing too tricky yesterday. The day before I did it on stream, I got like 10 fights. I lost 4 and won 6, which was quite low for my win rate. Normally I'm around about 70% each days, and then I won the last 2, and then I went on astonishingly 12 wins in a row, and then it kind of ended there yesterday at the last fight. So I would have liked to get 10 out of 10 for one day, but it was a win rate of 90% still, and stuff like that. So let's get into the run, enjoy the music, and then we're going to come back and show you the builds, masteries, and talk about a couple of fights maybe and stuff like that. So here we go. We did lose a couple of fights and stuff like that at the start, and it was a bit of a disappointment. I think we won this one. So my trick is I'm always starting with Duchess. Duchess is probably my most MPV champion right now on my account. So her and Rhodas are probably like the best two right now. The three nukers I'm using more in live arena than anyone else is Yannicka, Tormund, Rhodas, and Candy. So I do lose a few times with Tormund, and as you can see, I lost a few times the other day because of Tormund. So I then dropped Tormund, and I just kind of figured I'd stay with the three. So the most two is using Yannicka all the time, pretty much. She's empowered. She's just great. This way saves me change my gear on everyone. She's got good swipeability for a attack nuker, so it's not too bad. It's not a Rhodas, it's not in Harmony or Taurus, but you know, you've got to work with what you've got. I do have Rhodas as well, so I try and use Rhodas towards the end of the fight, so they don't, to minimize the chances of bringing the UDK and causing me a problem there. But Yannicka does deal with UDK quite well with the A2 and A3 once the stone skin wears off, if I got a chance. So I always start with Duchess and Warlord, and then I try and give them a reason not to ban Warlord. So for example, if they put a Rhodas, I put UDK at the end, and I try and start off with the flex spot. And the reason why I'm getting so win rates now is because I've got my core champions, which is Duchess, my Warlord. I'm always starting with at the start of the time, and then I can kind of switch it up between the nukers on their picks on the first few picks. So normally people pick the same support champions as well with a few more picks. This strategy will change once I get to gold, but again, I will adapt to that situation when I need to. Candy is really good against speed teams, so I do keep that in mind as well. And Yannicka has a great synergy with Cardiel and Duchess. So as you can see, I am using Cardiel a lot. I'm using Pythia now and again, Sifi now and again, but I'm using Cardiel or technically UDK just because it speeds up the fight for me. And if I lose, I lose 2 points. If I win, then fair enough. But I do try and end the fight fast as possible, and I'm not using a speed team. It's like a mix of a speed team, but also it can take a punch because I do have 2 bolster sets on Cardiel or Duchess, and then we also have Warlord who will bring the heal and shields on the E2. So if they do leave Warlord in, most likely I will win. Whereas can be a pain in the bum. That's why we do leave that last spot for UDK. So I do feel right now down in silver going second is the advantage, and I feel when you're in gold, because you can only use so many champions and you can't use the same champions, that the person who goes forward from gold will have the advantage. So for example, if I pick a Duchess, you can't have Duchess. If I pick a Warlord, you can't have a Warlord. And I think that's just how it'll go. And stuff like that. So for my soul stones, for example, I will be saving my soul stones for my Duchess and my Rhodas, and they're going to be the only 2 champions now that I really prioritize on taking the soul stones past the level 2 mark. Because for me right now, if I get a Rhodas fully awakened, GG. If I get a Duchess fully awakened, GG. It's fairly good either way. Obviously Sheep will get nerfed at some point, so I'll change Blessing on Duchess at some point because it will require accuracy unless it's a 6-star, and then maybe you go back to Sheep and pay the 300 gems or whatever you feel that is needed. So you do see me always start with them 2. The reason why I was bringing Tormund is because Tormund against speed teams can be very difficult, and it does make them question between Warlord and then Tormund, but it just wasn't working for me. As you can see, I lose here because Necra is just OG against that, and I should have really just brought in a Rhodas, and I probably would have stand a better chance of winning. Or if I did bring in a Rhodas, I probably would have won, in all fairness. So as you can see, I'm going to bring my Tormund in here. Cardio and Rhodas don't really work together, so I'm kind of a little bit clinical about that. And if I did have something like Nutcracker or something like that, I would kind of consider a bit different. But again, I don't have a Necroids, and we do lose here. And I think we lose this one as well because I just kind of messed up on the pick, if I'm honest. And I didn't ban the Warlord, so I kind of just were like, you know what, give it to him. I should have won. Hands down, these two fights, I could have won. Simple mistakes and a little bit of a, you know, you can't get every fight right, so you're going to make mistakes, and if you're not paying attention, then it is what it is, and I wasn't paying attention so much. Anyway, I want to come to the last one. This one's a little bit hilarious. We've got Jimbo here. So Jimbo actually only put one nuker in. So I feel like he was trying to bait me, and he wanted to stay in here for the full 30 minutes and just was okay of taking my points but also losing his points, which makes no sense. He puts a UDK in here, and it's just like, what's the point of this? He feels like he's going to hold me up for... He generally feels that he's going to hold me for the next like 30 minutes. And I'll be honest, if he banded my Yanaka, maybe he would have, but even Warlord would have locked him out at some point. I think Rodus would have got the win. So I banned his nuker. I'm like, okay, I don't mind. And he generally thinks Yanaka is not going to get through a UDT. And how long does it take? What, 4 minutes? And you can see that he is trying to take his time. Because after a while, I don't know what he's thinking of here, but after a while, he kind of just gives up and then leaves on his champions on auto. And lets me do my thing. He just leaves them on auto, look at that. Okay, so he clicks there. But towards the end of the fight, you can see that he starts leaving it on auto. And he's just trying to time waste because he knows he can't win. And he knows, I feel like he did mess up. I don't feel like it was his intentions to time waste, but you know, he gets the... I get the win anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I had the damage there, and I tried... It happened to me once, and I try and not let it happen again, so I do my best. So let's go with the builds then. So Yanaka again, you guys have probably seen it. She's fully oiled. She has 2,833 defense and 40,000 HP. Obviously, an empowerment +4 really helps. And at some point, I will push her for the 6-star awakening. I'll be honest, I will probably, after I've done Duchess and Rodus, I will probably look at Yanaka and Baron, in all fairness, because Baron would love, I would love to get for a classic arena. And I think like Yanaka for live arena, a 6-star awaken, or even 4-star awaken, if I get another 25 critical damage, by the way, it'll probably go up to like 37%, 37 critical damage once it's 6-star, because of the buff coming. And I've got a video on it yesterday that about talking about all the buffs and stuff too, that you can go check that out. And obviously I'll get more speed. Obviously I'll get another 15 speed on my build, which will be quite useful. I'll probably get more defense and HP maybe, but I will also generally get more attack, so that'll push me back over 7,000 attack. Now generally I always look for 7,000 attack on most of my arena champions, but because I've got so much speed, that is what it is. So Yanaka is a good one. I've got a triple reaction on here, on the bolster set and the divine set, so we got good defense, good HP. Would like more HP, but we are running 241 speeds, and I make sure he's a little bit slower than my Duchess, but then I don't want him too fast as well. So my Duchess is a little bit of glass cannon, good defense, good speed. We'll show you the masteries correctly. So we've got timely intervention here, we got timely intervention here as well, and then we have Hammer Smasher here. I'm not going to show you Torment because Torment's just kind of a bit meh. We do have my Rodus, which is not the best Rodus in the world, but with my gear it's the best I can get right now. So I am working hard to get this, so this will give me, I know, 1,000 HP, but then another critical 5 critical damage plus whatever stats it gets buffed or anything like that. So that'll be nice, and try and get that to that fairly good 5,000 attack. We can oil a little bit as well here, so that's something worth bearing in mind. So I can get better gear here at some point and stuff like that. So something we'll bear in mind. I do need to change masteries at some point and start taking shield break on my champions. It is something you should be taking on Nukas right now with how much bolster is in the game. And then we got my Candy as well. So I normally use Candy when I can't use Rodus. or when it makes sense, and then Baron is kind of like fourth choice after that. I think Baron then becomes like fourth choice after the bits and bobs with Torment today. So I think Torment will go back in the vault. I don't think Torment will be someone I'll be using a lot as well regularly now, and I think like I haven't really been using Lydia either, so I think Lydia will start living in the vault again. I mainly use her in 3 vs 3, so for 3 vs 3 defense. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you like this. Hope you kind of like the video, and this is an update of Live Arena. I will keep trying to post a video on Live Arena every 2 weeks just to kind of see if anything changes, or if I change any of my builds, and maybe change strategies as well as I get higher and higher and higher, hopefully, and if I get time. So there you are. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. It does really help to support the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.